Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I'm back with another video. And this video, as you see in the title, is Why HD was Better Than Blu-ray. And I'm going to do this sort of like basically a retro style video. It really is pointless at this point because HD DVD and Blu-ray format are already a thing of the past. Now we moved on to, you know, 4K DVD, and this is pretty primitive. But this argument is an argument that a lot of times when it was brought up last generation, it was always an argument that was misconstrued and not really validated or correctly argued on a lot of occasions. And in light of the events that happened last night in the Xbox Nation podcast with Crap Gamer and Dealer, I kind of got motivated to do the video. And by all means, shout outs to Crap Gamer and the Next Gen podcast. I mean the not Next Gen, excuse me, the Xbox Nation podcast. And shout out to Dealer Gamer and his wonderful channel. I really enjoy what both of those guys do and their content. They're great guys, good people, gamers, and tech savvy guys that love what they do and love, the hobby. So it's not a pop shot directly at them. This video is more my goal is to basically educate to the best of my abilities, being that I know about this stuff a lot more than the normal people do. Explain it, break it down a little bit, give you the pros, the cons, but it basically explain why the misconception of Blu-ray being a better format is not really as simple as black and white. So, with that being said, I'm not, like I said, I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Sega Forever, E-Rock 8150, Kaleidoscope, Ghost Rider, Master Chief, Sir Merkham, Kenny Thomas, MWO Prime, Next Gen, and all the Xbox community really. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm gonna break it down to the best of my ability, as detailed as I possibly can, and hopefully when you're done watching it, you're going to have a different appreciation, a different outlook, and respect maybe my perspective, what I've said, and my knowledge of this, and maybe some unanswered questions will be answered, even though it's not really relevant at the time because, like I said, these two formats are already old and are a dying breed. So we're going to start over here and we're going to go to the Xbox One. As you see, the Xbox 360. This is the 360 Star Wars Edition, R2-D2, and this is what the HDD drive looks like in the front. I already have them on and running, but the TV's off. I will turn them on. First and foremost, what I want to say, the HD DVD drive was sold separately about 6 months after the launch of the 360. The main reason for that is because Microsoft did not want to make people feel like they were forced to buy a console that was driven by the media first of movies, which was a big thing for the PlayStation 2. When the PS2 came out with the DVD, that was a main selling point for them. And a lot of people drove to it just because it was the cheaper DVD player in the market at the time. Just like in this case, this was going to be high definition video and movie at the highest quality, at HD quality, which we've never seen before. So it was basically jumping from 480p and 480i to a native 1080p and a 1080i. And I'll explain the differences between the I and P in a few minutes as well. And then you see, as I have here on the side, I have my PS3, and yes, I have a PS4 here, which I barely use. I have the Kinect original, I have the Xbox One Kinect, I have the Xbox One S Battlefield Military Green, and as you see there, I have the Panasonic surround sound for the 360, which is back there as well. Anyway, the HD DVD drive was sold separately for that reason, and also for cost, to keep the cost down on the Xbox 360. And later on sold separately. And the funny thing is that when this was done, most people took it as, oh, Microsoft is just trying to make money separately out of all their peripherals. You know what? But when it was implemented you know, before, later on, rather, about a year and a half later on the PS3, right? Even though that's not the first PS3 model, it was looked at, oh, that's fantastic. You get all your entertainment stuff in one, which is kind of vice versa now with the whole scenario with the Xbox One S having the 4K player and being a better value plus the upclock of performance in the hardware at 12% more, plus the HDR built in, plus the capabilities of upscaling all your games and the ability of streaming in 4K with your apps. Okay, which apps, by the way, started when built in on the Xbox 360 console. It didn't start on the PS3 like a lot of people may think. It started on the Xbox 360. There was an app for, I believe, Netflix on PS2, but it wasn't an app. You had to upload it with a CD, and this was only available in Europe, and that's how you were able to reach the Netflix format through a CD. So it wasn't built in into the hardware on the UI. That's the biggest difference for those who are trying to say no, that's not true, and want to be technical ahead of time in the comments. So the DVD drive sold for $179.99 separately, which I thought was a good price because in the market, a regular HD DVD format player cost about $500. That was the main entry price point. Now, when Blu-ray came out, which was basically a year and a half later, it was Sony's version of HD movies. They just created a disc that was called the Blu-ray disc, and Philips created the technology for the HD movies. They don't own Blu-ray per se; they just own the name. But the technology is not really theirs. It was created by Sony, a gentleman called Matsushita, and another um and another gentleman, and Philips. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. So the Blu-ray technology was created by Sony, Philips, or co-created, if you will, Sony, Philips, and Mitsusuda, a gentleman. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Forgive me. And this was about a year and a half later, as opposed to the HD DVD drive was created by Toshiba and NEC. Yes, you heard right, NEC. NEC was the company who created, fun fact, the TurboGrafx 16 during the Genesis era, which was also a great console at the time worked with micro cards. That was a technology that was implemented on the Master System, the Sega Master System, about 5 years prior or before. So the HDD DVD drive, in many ways, was a superior format because this HD DVD drive had pop-up menus right from the start, whereas when you watch the movie, while you watch the movie, you can actually pop up a menu and go to any part of the movie that you saw when it showed you the little number or icon on the screen, very tiny, to indicate to you that if you activate it right from the menu, like when you pick the actual subtitles or when you pick the actual language, it would tell you, and you would press enter on the controller on your remote, and you would be able to go to the featurette air part of that scene, particular scene, and they would talk about it and show you how they did it, and interviews with the people, with the extras, with the stunt coordinators, and and all those guys that do the stunts for the actors. So it had a really awesome feature. On top of this, HD DVD when it first came out was on what they call a single layer 15 gig single layer disc. Then it also had the capabilities of doing a dual layered 30 gigs of dual layer, which means that when you bought a movie, if the movie would come with the version of DVD and the version of HD DVD. One side would be the DVD version, the other side would be the HD DVD version. The side with the HD DVD version would be the 25 gigs to store the movie and hold the featurettes, the language, and things of that nature. The other side with the regular DVD would be 5 gigs. Okay, and that's how it would be formatted. It would be done in two sides. So they gave you the two movies in both formats, DVD, and they gave you the HD DVD. Now, okay, the other thing is that we got to remember when it first came out, it was using compressed technology. So the audio was compressed on the HD DVD, right? And also the resolution ran at a native 1080i, which means interlace. What interlace means is whenever you watch the movie that had a scene that had high activity, like a car chase scene or a fighting scene, like in the Transformer movies, with a lot of chaotic things going on, with a lot of detail, you would lose resolution and it would lose pixel counts in that resolution and in that frame because it was interlacing the image. When you have it in 1080p, okay, which was later brought on with the Blu ray disc, it meant that it was progressively scanned. So anytime you watch the movie, at all moment, whether there was a fast action paced scene with a lot of action or a scene that had fighting or a lot of movement, you always got the image in the full 1080p image. You never lost that image or image quality, which was that's why they used it P, the letter P for progressively scanned. Now, what the misconception a lot of people have is that they think that the HD DVD drive didn't do had a lower quality of resolution than the DVD, but that wasn't the case. They were both 1080p resolution. The difference was that HD DVD had to later create another form of technology within the dual layer disc where it gave you full 1080p image on your movie. So by the time the HD DVD drive came out, with other movies later on, like I Am Legend, all those movies were already running in 1080p on HD DVD. And on top of that, the movies were also running the audio at a higher quality, even though it was compressed, but it was a high definition compress. In the beginning, it was just a compressed Dolby Digital, which was still high def, but it was compressed. Now, on Blu-ray, it was uncompressed audio, and the reason for that is because the Blu-ray disc actually held more space on one disc, which was 50 gigs. One standard disc was 25. The standard disc for HD was 25 gigs, and the Blu-ray was 50 gigs. So that's why a lot of the developers on the PS3 era, like with Metal Gear Solid, for example, or even Heavenly Sword, they wanted to create their games there in that format because it would be cheaper for them because they wouldn't have to press more disc with the HD technology. They would have on the 360 they would have to press more disc. So something like Metal Gear would have to been on 3 discs or maybe 2 discs as opposed to 1 disc on the Blu-ray format. And this is why they chose that route to put more full motion videos and cinematic cutscenes and even music, because music in high definition recorded takes a lot of space. For Heavenly Sword alone, it was 25 gigs of just music. The music alone in the game took 25 gigs of space for Heavenly Sword. That is a fun fact, and it's a fact that all this that I'm talking, you guys can go check it out, look it up, Google it. If you think I'm wrong, and you'll see that I'm absolutely right. Okay, now the other thing that HD was DVDs were giving you was they gave you better picture quality. It was better blacks. They gave you better colors, more vivid picture colors in the picture, and had better quality. And this was the argument that I always had with the PS3. It was the same scenario like when you saw the differences between the games. If you played a game like Crisis on PS3 and then 360, you would play Crisis, and Crisis would look like it had a sponge kind of blanket in the front of it, while the blacks on the 360 were called the Crush Blacks. And a lot of people tried to say that because they said they used that technology to hide, you know, blemished details like low, flat texture areas and things like that. But in reality, the Crush Blacks gave a good contrast to the image and gave you better picture quality. Made the details around the other images that weren't in black or in shades of black stand out more. They were more vivid. So were the colors. And this worked in their advantage because most games that were multiplayer, even some of their games that were exclusives, even people may argue, looked better on 360 than what quality you got on PS3. Look at something like Halo 4, even when it came over remastered on Xbox One S and the Xbox One, it looked almost like a next generation game, and it was a game from last generation. Same thing with Lords of the Shadows, Castlevania Part 2. And that game hasn't been brought over. And that game looked like a new generation game when it first released the new consoles. And it wasn't. It was still on the last generation hardware because it's formatted for those hardware. But they use the most and they utilize the most power out of both of these hardwares of these consoles because they lasted for almost 10 years. So we're gonna get to Jesus Christ. We're gonna get to some other parts. Okay, so you were able to get it separate, but with the Blu-ray on the PS3, you weren't able to get it separate. So that's why the PS3 essentially, plus with the other things they gave you, end up costing $600. Some places was $700. Then you had to pay for all the other stuff separate, and it was very expensive. And it wasn't even a high-end quality Blu-ray player, according to what people were saying that owned the actual singleized unit in the store. That that bought actual Blu-ray players. The Blu-ray players were $1,000, and the HD players were only $500. But Sony always has the tendency to do this. They always bring out new technology, and they always have the tendency to bring it out at a higher cost and more expensive. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the import cost or what, but they do that with all their electronic appliances, their TVs, their microwaves, their consoles, everything. In most cases. Now, so we can continue here. I'm going to turn on both TVs, and I'm going to show you some differences of what I was talking about to you live. I'm going to come to a quick pause and turn on the TVs. Give me 1 second. So here we go. I'm back. The TVs are loading up. Now, I'm going to say this right now. A couple of things. Number one, I have, the same exact TVs here. These are two Hitachi LED panels, 1080p at 60 hertz of refresh rate on both. Both of these TVs, both of them, both of these TVs are running natively in 1080p. Both of the TVs, as I'm going to show you now, are in the same exact video settings. So there was no cheating. You can see it there. You can pause it in the video if you like. That's the settings there. Same number. Okay. That's for the PS3 and the Blu-ray player. And then this is for this TV. Same settings. Same TVs. There's no cheating here. There's no fanboy. This me just trying to show you guys the differences. I'm gonna give a quick pause to turn off the light. Hold on. And I'm back. Now we turn off the lights to get a little bit better, clearer image while we're watching this. Now, I don't know how well it's gonna come off of my TV, but as you can see here, this was another thing that Blu-ray didn't have. Blu-ray did not have BD Live, which was to give you previews, give you certain events for the directors that made the movie. You could actually interact with them while watching the movie through the internet, connecting your console or via the console, or things of that nature. And they didn't have that. When Blu-rays first came out, this was their menu. It was just one plain sheet of the image of the movie, and then the menu in the bottom pick either select the scene, play it, the audio, the subtitles, or watch the trailers. That's all they had. This was one of the first earlier Blu-rays that came out. I was trying to get the one that came packed in with the PS3, which was Talladega Nights which only had scene selection, play, and audio. That's all it had. It didn't even have subtitles and didn't even have the trailers on there. Now, this was what the menus looked like on the HD movies. They were interactive. They had this sliding thing here on the side where you move them and you pop them up. We'll put up the volume a little bit so you can hear the audio. Now, when they say compressed audio, the only difference is you don't lose quality in the sound. The difference is if it's uncompressed, you will have let's say if you put it on 20 decibels on your surround sound, it would sound loud and clear. If you had it on HD with a compressed audio, you would, instead of having it on 20, you would have to put it on 30 in order to get the same quality that you do on the Blu-ray, which was uncompressed, right? On 20 decibels. That is the only difference, but it's the same exact high def quality. You didn't lose any quality whatsoever. It just, you would have to put one louder than the other on the receiver to get the loudness and the clarity of the sounds. But it was the exact same audio quality sound. And these were the menus, as you see. Then when you played the movie, you see, they give you a little description. Everything was handled with the D-pad or the analog stick, however you felt. We played the movie. And as you can see already, with the image, the colors are very vibrant and stand out a lot because the blacks are rich. So the colors look very vibrant, very rich. And on here, a lot of the things, it looks really orangey, but it also looks like a white blanket over. I don't know how well it's going to come out on the screen here. Maybe if I turn it, you can see it better. What I'm trying to say, it has like a Vaseline look on it. This was the release format, how it looked and layout for the DVD Blu-rays when they were first released. Mind you, this came out a year and a half after the HD DVD. HD DVD was already more interactive, had better features, had the same quality in 1080p. It's just the disc held less space. But the funny thing is that not until the HD got out of the market, or Toshiba started making HD players, period, Sony with the Blu-ray technology and Philips did not implement all these other things like interactive menu, BD Live. This was existing on HD. In the HD movies, you already had the internet feature where you could upload your movies, have interviews with, or look at documentary interviews with the directors live on certain dates based on when they posted it up via the internet connection. This already existed day one on HD, not on Blu-ray. So the only real advantage that Blu-ray had over HD DVD was the capability that the disc held more information and because it had more gigs on the disc. And that's it. Everything else, as far as picture quality, as far as audio, as far as the features, the interactivity, the online connectivity options, all that existed on HD before it even existed on Blu-ray. Blu-ray basically essentially copied what Toshiba and NEC established and then did it after they closed house. It was so different as far as the potentials that you had with HD that they had deals exclusively with DreamWorks and Paramount. All Paramount movies and DreamWorks movies only came out on HD DVD. That's why the first Transformer, you couldn't get it in Blu-ray when it first came out because they had an exclusive deal. So what Sony did to counteract and counterattack that is they went to Disney and made a contract with Disney so that they can make Disney movies exclusive to the Blu-ray format. And that kind of helped sway a lot of people in wanting to get Blu-ray as well, because a lot of those Disney movies go big with the families. But DreamWorks was no slouch. Now, here's the one fun fact that I will clarify to everybody. And this is a fact. This is not an opinion. If Microsoft would have implemented the HD DVD drive on the 360 built in, the Blu-ray format would have not won this format war, period. HD would have stayed progressing and evolving, and Blu-ray would have died off. just like it happened vice versa with the HD. The reason why Blu-ray beat out HD was because there was more PlayStation 3 units out in people's homes that had built-in Blu-ray players on there, so they counted that as Blu-ray players because obviously it played Blu-ray disc. Just like now with the Xbox One S having the 4K player in it. And this is the only reason, and I'm not stuttering, the only reason why Blu-ray beat HD DVD. Because even with the advantages of the space, Toshiba NEC managed to evolve the disc to give you the same exact features and sometimes more with better picture quality, with the better blacks, the better colors, and the more vivid picture than Sony's Blu-ray. Not until HD disappeared and stopped production that the Blu-ray didn't evolve and started getting a better blacks. And it wasn't until the release of Batman Returns, I think it was, on Blu-ray, that the blacks were better. They did something called the RGB full, and they were able to make to get a better blacks and better colors on their image. Right now, I'm running this at RGB full and the 360 on RGB because both of these screens work as monitors as well, which means red, green, and blue. So they're giving you the best picture image on both, with the less jaggies and the less, distortion and pixels that you can see as you're viewing the image. You see how the HD has nice crisp blacks? Now we're going to play the Blu-ray one right here. It's taking a little while to load up. Oh, here's the movie. Now, even viewing it side by side, the reason why I picked these two older movies, as you can see, look, you can see the white blanket matches the black bar on the movie if you see it. As opposed to here, it's black. You see the black and you see the black there. You see? It's the black there. Doesn't match the black there. What you're seeing is the silhouette of the TV. But if you go like this, there you see the blacks. You see? The blacks are more pronounced and more vibrant, the colors. Here, you don't get that. Here you get that white blanket look. It matches that. The color of that matches that. And we'll go to the beginning of the movie. For those that want to see. So the point of this video, hopefully, is basically to just prove and point out even the colors. You see how dull they look. They don't really look vibrant. Maybe they don't come off that way, but if you look here, you see how colorful these things look. I'm trying to get the silhouette not to hit the thing. As you see when you get closer, the colors are much more. You see the camera adjusts. Once the camera adjusts, you see the true image quality. Over here, when the camera adjusts, it stays basically the same with this matte max. Even with the adjustment, it stays like a white blanket. You see how it looks. You see that those hues over the letters? That's that blanket, white blanket look that I'm trying to tell you that it has. So to make and end this video, to Dealer and Crap, great topics yesterday, by the way. Nice that you guys were debating about this. I hope this helps alleviate some of the confusion or maybe some of the lack of knowing the differences. And not to say that you guys don't know your stuff, because that's not what I mean at all. But I know you guys are more savvy at certain things more than others. I'm gonna pause this for the sake of not having so much audio sound at once. All at once. See, I pop up the menu. You see, you pop it up while you're watching the movie. Look, you pop it up. See? Look. I think it's like this. Oh, there it is. And it pops up. Then you go like that. Pops out. Pop like this. And pop like that. It pops it out. Then you press. Go on the top. I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna press pause. So I pause the movie. Over here, you're gonna see. Look. I'm gonna try to look. Look, there's no pop-up. All you do is you rewind and fast forward the movie. That's it. That's all it does. And when you press it up, look, when you press it up, it does nothing. Let's play the movie. Movie's being played, see? Look. Look, there's no pop-up menu whatsoever, even if you press it down. Look, there's nothing, even the analog. No pop-up menu whatsoever. That did not exist. That's just telling me to quit. I want to quit. That did not exist on Blu-ray disc, and I cannot emphasize this and stress this enough. Blu-ray did not have interactive menus, did not have pop-up menus. It did not have the ability to go online and do online features. They did not give you the regular DVD movie with the Blu-ray movie. They did not even implement the ability of you having everything on one disc, because what they did was, instead of giving you the featurettes and everything on one disc on purpose with some movies, what they did was they gave it to you still on 2 discs, even though it has 50 gigs of space for the movies. The only movie that made sense for them to do that was with something like Lord of the Rings, because the movies in the extended versions were over 4 hours or 3.5 hours, which took up way more than 50 gigs. So that's another thing they did that was kind of stupid. As opposed to the HD format, even though they were the less gig format, they figured out a way how to implement the featurette, the 1080p progressive scan from 1080i, and a better compressed audio to give you the same quality as the uncompressed audio of Blu-ray, all in a 30 gig disc, or a 30 gig dual layer disc. That's what they called them on the PS3. The Blu-rays were called 50 gig dual layer. There was one thing though I forgot real quick, because this video is already running long enough. The Blu-ray had one thing that was really cool. Sony created this silicone covering on the disc that they put on the bottom underneath them that would avoid the disc from getting scratched, which is really awesome. Until today, they still use it on their games as well. Even the Xbox One with the Blu-ray disc on their games, they don't get scratched. Like, you really would have to like really do something crazy and drastic to scratch the crap out of the disc. And that's something that HD didn't have. It lacked because it was their technology and they couldn't use it, because then it would be, you know, like if they stole it and they would have to go to court, unless they created their own. But because HD wasn't winning because of the PS3 selling, there were not enough HD drives out there. They didn't bother to create it, just like they did to help the disc from getting damaged further on. And I have a big HD collection here, as you can see. Matter of fact, give me 1 sec, I'm gonna pause. Yeah, I'm back. So look, this is my HD collection here. Here's one side. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. 24 movies here. But I have the Matrix trilogy, so it's really 25, 26. And another thing is the HD DVD drive came with the copy of King Kong, and it came with the remote control. And the first movie, a little fun fact, the first movie to actually get the full 1080p treatment before all the other ones got it through firmware updates was, let's see, over here, I believe was I Am Legend. I'm looking for my I Am Legend here and I can't see it though. I don't know if, so I got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I have 25 here and 25 on the other side. And I use Mercury Rising because it's an older movie, just like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And you see that one color was blue for the Blu-ray, and for the HD was like a burgundy for the HD format. The HD even gave you the option where you could flip the covers and have double covers. It's another little feature they threw in. I know it's bullshit, but at least it's something cool added. You know that they added on. Oh, here it is. Let me get it out real quick. I have V for Vendetta. Real quick, and I'll end the video with this. I Am Legend. See, it was one of the first movies. You see how it said HD DVD and DVD combo. When you open it, this is how the disc looked. It looked, one side had the DVD, and then the other side had the HD DVD one. You clean these things with microfiber to avoid, you know. And if you look here, down here, let me see if I can see it so I can point it out. Oh, here we go. Oh, look, transfer. Oh my God, the transfer. Look at the transfer. The transfer says 1080p video transfer in high def 16:9 2.41, and there was a true HD. The Blu-ray was able to do the 7.1 with some disc, but they didn't implement it in a lot of movies because it had more space. That's another advantage it had. But again, you were able to get that later on with the uncompressed files that they did with the HD drive, or the super compressed files that they created for the HD drive later on that you were able to get 7.1. But with the Blu-rays, you were able to do it right from the jump, built in, because of the fact that the Blu-rays held more space and more disc space or whatnot. So yeah, man, you know, that's basically I used 2 older movies, so people won't be, oh yeah, you use King Kong when it's a newer modern movie, and Mad Max on which is the older movie, Beyond Thunderdome, on the Blu-ray. The reason why I had to get an older Blu-ray movie too is because it was the first edition of those movies that came out that were the original format, where it was just a non-interactive menu. It didn't have none of the features, as opposed to the HD that had all that right from the jump. It wasn't, like I said, until the HD stopped production that they didn't add it to the Blu-ray disc, and then Paramount and also DreamWorks had no choice, and they had to go over to Blu-ray and make movies for the Blu-ray format. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen, HD, DVD, and then you have your Blu-ray, which you see here is a white blanket all the time. On the HD DVD, it's a nice black, crisp black with nice, beautiful, vivid colors. I hope this video helps you guys out, educated. Shout outs to intramediagaming.com, my boy 100, and Cyclonus. Shout outs to the World of Xbox, my gaming Facebook group, with my boy New Legal Felon, Mario Giuseppe. I hope you liked the video, because I know you're a guru and you like knowing about these stuff. Shout outs to Crab, shout outs to Dealer, shout outs to you know, all the Xbotians out there, and you know, J Long, you know, Sega Forever, Master Chief Merc, NWO Prime, Kenny Thomas, and E-Rock 8150, just to name a few. Drew Drew 1111, and Microbox of X. You guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Shout outs to all y'all. I love you guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, remember, I'm very grateful, because I know you don't have to, but you become part of my family. And, you know, always leave a comment, because it's good. It's good, and it helps me create better content. I should be doing some more videos and uploading them soon, and it just feels glad to be back and do a little something for you guys on the channel. Thanks, guys, for all the love and support and hanging in there with me and not giving up on my channel. See you soon.